When pricing electrical work for a 1200 square foot home addition, several factors influence the final cost. It's important to consider the scope of work, including the number of receptacles, ceiling outlets, switches, and light fixtures required. Determine whether the owner will supply and install any of these fixtures. Note any special features such as recessed lighting, dimmers, or ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs. A clearly defined scope of work is essential for accurate pricing. Based on the information provided, a project of this type might typically range from $4,000 to $4,500 retail, or about 2/3 of that wholesale. However, consider that the general contractor, GC, will need to make a profit. If the GC requires a lower quote, evaluate your overhead costs and business availability to determine if you can negotiate the price. However, be cautious about going too far below $4,000, as it could significantly impact your profit margin. Another approach is to estimate the job at around $4 to $4.50 per square foot for the entire area to be wired. This includes the 100 amp subpanel, bathrooms, bedroom, phone jacks, and satellite outlets as part of the base price, without additional charges for each. Using this method, the job could range from $4,800 to $5,400. Final decision on the price within this range is yours. For an addition of this size, expect to spend at least 4 days completing the job. The overhead cost alone could amount to around $1,000. Remember to factor in materials, profit, and taxes to get a realistic bottom line. When calculating material costs, include items like junction boxes, conduit, screws, and wire nuts. In addition to the square footage approach, another estimate could be around $4.50 to $5 per square foot, resulting in a total price of $5,400 to $6,000. This higher estimate may help ensure a more comfortable profit margin. Remember to account for all the necessary components. Firstly, wiring for lighting circuits, including the number of light fixtures and their locations. Secondly, wiring for receptacle outlets, considering the quantity and placement according to code requirements. Thirdly, wiring for switches to control lights and other devices. Fourthly, wiring for appliances such as dishwashers, refrigerators, or microwave ovens, ensuring appropriate circuits and outlets are installed. Fifthly, wiring for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning (HVAC) systems, including thermostats and control wiring. Sixthly, installation of a 100 amp subpanel, ensuring proper grounding and bonding. Seventhly, wiring for 2 bathrooms, including ground fault circuit interrupter, GFCI protection for receptacles near water sources. Eighthly, wiring for 1 bedroom, including lighting, receptacles, and smoke detectors. Ninthly, installation of 4 additional phone jacks in desired locations. Tenthly, installation of 4 additional satellite outlets in desired locations. 11thly, consider any additional wiring for special features, such as ceiling fans, dimmers, or exterior lighting. 12thly, factor in the cost of materials, including wire, conduit, junction boxes, connectors, and mounting hardware. 13thly, include labor costs based on the estimated time required to complete the job. 14thly, account for overhead costs such as insurance, vehicle expenses, and office supplies. 15thly, add a profit margin to ensure the project is financially viable. 16thly, include any applicable taxes. 17thly, consider the cost of obtaining necessary permits and inspections. 18thly, factor in the cost of any specialized tools or equipment required for the job. 19thly, account for potential unforeseen expenses, such as unexpected repairs or modifications. 20thly, the distance to the job site, as it adds costs to the labor as well as wear and tear to vehicles and equipment. Ultimately, the final price should reflect the scope of work, material costs, labor costs, overhead expenses, and desired profit margin.